What a beautiful share you had on your proof talk. And I can't imagine being in seventh grade and having a guidance counselor, somebody that you respect, somebody that's supposed to show you the way, look at you and say, you're not going to amount to much. How is that landing for you today? Is it a motivation for you now, or thinking back, like, what are your thoughts around that?
It at the time was crushing. And I wasn't sure if I was ever going to amount to anything. But I used it as a driving force throughout my life to really give me a boost, open up that confidence war chest within me, and move me forward.
Do you think you would be doing what you're doing today if it wasn't for for that comment?
I think it was a combination of that and life experience, the journey I have been on for these 20 years to make sure that I was standing here at this point, at this time.
So tell us a little bit about what you do for a living today.
I help women become powerful, confident warriors within the corporate world. They really do break the code. They continue to find the confidence within themselves, but also know how to play the game and play it on your terms. When I was coming up in the corporate world, you had to play the game like a man, or you weren't getting anywhere. And I've learned that you really have to play the game a little bit on those terms, but you can be a woman today. We're in a great spot as women that we weren't even 5 years ago. And I think it's the time of the corporate woman.
Share with us a little bit about your experiences of breaking that code in corporate America. Specifically, I think you mentioned something about a 3-year attempt of getting a raise. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, it was a 3-year journey of becoming a manager. I was in a pharmaceutical company. I was a rep. I was the one who was pegged as coming up in the ranks, and I was a woman. That was very odd. And I was doing well in the management program until we got to the assessments. And the assessments were a psychological team looking at you. And what I didn't know at the time is they wanted me to answer like a man, to be a man. I was not a man. I'm not a man, never going to be a man. Nothing wrong with men, but I'm not a man. And I needed to play the game like a man to win. And I hired a coach to help me play the game like a man at that time to get my promotion.
So you spent 3 years in this management track, and once a year there would be a group of psychologists just basically asking you questions, trying to figure out if you had it in you.
It was a day of assessment, so it was running a district manager meeting, running a regional meeting. It was a group of audience members that you were in front of, just like it would be a normal district management meeting.
Wow.
And they would have people that would disrupt the meeting or be on their cell phones. They were trying to put obstacles in front of you and see how you handled it.
I'm sure there are a lot of people, men and women today, that are anxious to break that ceiling, to go to that next level. What are some words of advice that you can share with people that have been kind of in that situation as well?
One, you have to be confident and not let your mindset dictate who you are and put those negative thoughts in your head. Our minds play games with us, and we really need to focus and have a clear mindset of where we want to go and how we're going to get there. It's all about having strategic plans in place.
So in all the years of trial and error and going through these assessments, I'm sure you've learned so much, and the fact that you're a coach today, what are some of the foundations? What is it that you really teach?
I have a strategic plan that has worked over and over again for my career, but also other people's careers that I've coached. And we go through the process, and the strategic plan lays out the steps that they need to go through to get to their final promotion or even raise or whatever that next goal is for them.
It's got to be intimidating to be in a boardroom to begin with, and to be in a minority, I think could be even more intimidating. Any words of advice or suggestions there?
Yeah, definitely have a plan before you go into that boardroom. Know what the topics are, know what the strategy, know the overall structure of the company and what the goals are of your department as well as that meeting. Because you're going to have a strategy before you go in. You can't just wing it. And there's never any just winging it. You really need to be able to have some confidence within you, and having a plan allows you to be confident when you step into that boardroom.
What are you, in the big picture, what are you fighting for?
I'm fighting for women to go into the boardroom and be themselves, but have the confidence to raise their hand, step up to the next level, and meet their goals. I'm fighting for women to be confident warriors.
Through the challenges of your work and getting promoted in the corporate world, what are some of the people that you've surrounded yourself with that have really assisted you in that growth?
Throughout my career, I've hired many different coaches. From the time when I was in management development and didn't know how I was failing over and over again, to today. I have coaches that help me with mindset, coaches that help me with marketing, as well as coaches that help me in fitness and nutrition. I cannot say that I would be at the level I'm at without some help, because I know it's 10 times more that I get out of what they're giving me to take me to the next level.
So the famous question that we ask all proofers on this stage is, in 3 words, what is your meaning of life?
No more excuses. People use excuses to hold them back. And that's all it is something to hold you back. If you take away that excuse, you're sitting there naked, and you really have to move forward and find your confidence and find who you are and grow.
Sheri, thank you so much for doing the work and sharing your story as a child and how and what you've become, and the work that you do, influencing and uplifting other human beings. Is absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much for everything that you do.
Thank you, Dan.